Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. You're joining us in video number 2 of a 3-part series. This is the Queen Bee Stamp-a Stack. I am just in love with this beautiful romantic stamp-a stack. It's just been so much fun to produce. And if you're joining us in video number 2, I highly recommend that you go back to video number 1 and start there. We are doing a stack of cards, 9 cards. There's an optional class packet while supplies last. In the class packet, you'll have bedazzled glimmer paper, champagne rhinestones, the twine that you need. You're going to have the white seam binding. It's not pictured here. Half a roll of this ribbon, the favored flowers, designer series paper, 2 6x6 sheets of each of the patterns, all of your cardstock card bases. We do the basic die cutting for you, so your tags are done. We've got vellum for your amazing hive layer. Isn't that gorgeous? And everything that you need except for ink and stamps is included in this class packet with some extra to play when you're finished. So check out kitchentablestamper.com/shop to see if we have class packets available. Filter on the right-hand side to the category of class packets to find it quickly. All right, this was design number 1. I will link below to video number 1. And the class, the Stamp-a Stack packet, the Wonder Recipes make 2 of this design. Now today we're going to make this design. There are 4 of this design you can make with the class packet and the Wonder Recipe. This is the video we're working today, and I will be back tomorrow with this happy birthday design. All right, so let's jump into this design. Now, for video purposes, we're going to make the Mossy Meadow cards. I've gone ahead in my Stamp-a Stack packet and finished my Blackberry Bliss cards. They're the same card. The only difference is we're going to stamp the background of the Mossy Meadow. It looks really great. We're not stamping the background of the Blackberry Bliss. I found that it got lost, so I didn't do it. You can if you want to. Otherwise, the process is exactly the same. And when you're doing these, you're going to work in batch work. So you're going to stamp all your bees. You're going to color all your bees for all your designs. You're going to cut all your die cut flowers. You're going to distress all your edges. So that's why it's very important to check out video number 1 in the series. In that video, we went ahead and cut our vellum pieces and we embossed them. So by the magic of television, I've got my vellum pieces already embossed and distressed. And inside my packet, I have 2 Mossy Meadow card bases that are 8.5 by 5.5. They're scored at 4.25. And I had 2 Blackberry Bliss. Now, like I said, I went ahead and finished my Blackberry Bliss. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and work on the background stamping for our Mossy Meadow cards and then adhere the vellum. Now, the vellum was embossed with the Hive 3D embossing folder. It is a glorious embossing folder, and it is on last chance sale while supplies last. I think it's $3.80. So if you haven't seen the last chance list and sale, go check it out while supplies last. We've got our Queen Bee stamp set that is while supplies last. And we've got our Queen Bee dies that are while supplies last. Now these dies are on sale for less than $13 right now. So if you're going to order this, you're going to get a great value. Get the stamps and then get the dies separately, and you will save over the bundle discount price. Okay, so stamps and dies separately. Pick up that Hive embossing folder. These are products that will last a lifetime in your crafting and are at such a fantastic value right now, but while supplies last. All right, so for our background, we're going to stamp with Mossy Meadow ink on Mossy Meadow. And we're going to just kind of do a little collaging in the background with the pieces from Queen Bee. So I like to start with this chain, and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm carefully inking and checking. I want to make sure I've got good full coverage and even coverage. And then we're going to stamp it kind of at an angle across the bottom of our card. And try to go from one side to the other. And this is kind of the anchoring piece of our little collage-y background. And we're going to do the same kind of layout for both of these Mossy Meadow cards. And for video number 3, you'll see that we'll be doing about the same thing also. All right, now we're going to go in with the text, the distressed text. We're going to add some in the corner, and we're going to add some on the side, get some up here, and then we're going to go twice, I think, over here would be good. Get that to go down the side a little bit longer. We're going to come in with the flower next and add a couple of flowers to the edges where it'll be seen behind the gorgeous honeycomb here. So we're really working towards the outside of the card. I'm going to grab the little crown. What's a queen bee without a crown here and there? And that is our background stamping. Now, if you're working this packet and you're doing the Stamp-A-Stack, I recommend that you do all your Mossy Meadow card base stamping. Then clean your stamps. Stamp all your Blackberry Bliss on the fresh Freesia. And work in batches if you're gonna do the Stamp-A-Stack. The stack makes 9 cards and it's based on our Wonder Recipe system. All right, so distress the edges of the card. The Wonder Recipes are 1-sheet Wonder cutting diagrams for 6x6 paper. So in video number 1, we went ahead and we cut 4 pieces of Favored Flowers designer series paper according to the Wonder Recipes. We used 5, and then the brand new Wonder Recipe 22, 23, and 24. Let's go ahead and adhere our vellum so that both of these cards are at the same stage. And of course, you're working the Blackberry Bliss ones at the same time, right? And you're doing your batch work. But for the magic of television, I'm going to work just on these Mossy Meadow ones. All right, I like to put the adhesive on the center, add it kind of at an angle, and now there's our 2 Mossy Meadow card bases ready. Let's go ahead and bring our designer series paper into the picture here. And here are our Wonder Recipes. We've cut our paper, and then after you cut the 6x6 designer series paper, you went ahead and distressed the edges, right? And now we're gonna collect our pieces. So we've got 4 cards in this design, the 2 Blackberry Bliss and the 2 Mossy Meadow. So we need all 4 of these 1 by 3 3/4 inch pieces of Mossy Meadow that were cut according to Wonder Recipe number 24. And this is how I keep all the pieces in order. I just leave them laying on the grid, stack the grids. And now for this one, we need all 4 1 by 2 1/4 inch Blackberry Bliss pieces. So we'll grab those off the grid. What's left is going to be for design number 3. So just set that one aside and we'll use those in the next video. We also want these 4 1 by 3 3/4 inch pieces of the, I don't know, petal pink, I think this pattern is, and from our Wonder Recipe number 22. Now, Wonder Recipe number 5, that's how we cut our fresh Freesia pattern, and we need 4 of those. So now you can see Wonder Recipe number 5 is empty. We've dealt out all the pieces. Let's make them into beautiful cards. Now I'm going to set aside these 2 pieces of each color because those are the pieces for your Blackberry Bliss. I have gone ahead and assembled mine already, so I'll do these off camera. All right, now let's adhere our designer series paper to the card front. I'll get a sample in here so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to add adhesive. I like to start with this 3x3 square, and we're going to kind of build down from there. Of course, you can, this is your Stamp-A-Stack. You can use the piece that has the flower sides. You can mix and match, use any pattern you want. You'll have plenty of extra paper if you get the kit to do, to add your own flair, and then even some left to play. We're going to build our little banner strips. And we're just kind of toggling them here and there. I really do love all the texture and color that this is bringing to the card. I'm not fully pressing these down. Oh, that would be a good one to put flower side up. I can't wait to see if you do something different with your kit. You do different papers, arrangements, please share with us on the Craft Social. The link to our Craft Social is below. And now let's add the banners to our second copy. Of course, you're doing your third and your fourth card, and you can mix them up. And you could add sometimes the flowers, sometimes the solid. They don't have to all look the same. That's the nice part about these Stamp-A-Stack packets. The other nice part about these Stamp-A-Stack packets is I would use the Queen Bee, and if I didn't have it already, I'd definitely go pick it up on the last chance sale, the Hive embossing folder too. But if that isn't something that you want, then go ahead and do this with the Dragonfly bundle from the last, I think it was the last annual catalog. Go ahead and do this with something beautiful like the thistle that's in the current spring, or the dandelion bundle. You can really modify these cards to fit your taste, whether you just mix up the designer series papers and still use the Queen Bee, or you leave the designer series papers the same and you use the thistle bundle from the catalog that's the current one about to retire, January through April catalog. There's so many great options for this, and creativity is the only limit. All right, now we're going to do our die cutting and some stamping. Let's start with our beloved tags. So we're going to go back to our kit, and we've got the little tags here. We die cut these for you. You'll find them in a tiny bag. You're going to need one for each card and some Blackberry Bliss ink. Now you're going to do 4 of them. I've got one that's ready for my copy of my Mossy Meadow card, and 2 that are already done and adhered to my Blackberry Bliss card. So let's show you how we do this one. We're going to do the Beloved with Blackberry Bliss on the fresh Freesia tag. I just love this little tag. It just kind of adds to the romance. As that dries for a second, let's grab your twine. So you've got a loop of twine in your kit. We're going to go ahead and pull off about 7 inches for each tag. And then just use my grid paper to kind of estimate that. You could probably do a little bit less if you've got some good dexterity, even maybe 6.5 inches. We're going to thread the tag through and then tie a thread knot. So for a thread knot, you're going to bring the tails together about even, and then wrap around your fingertip, tuck the tails through that loop that you made, and pull. And there is your beloved tag. We're going to set that aside for a minute and get some white cardstock from the kit. You have plenty of white cardstock here for all of your stamping, plus half sheets so that you can line these cards. So if you want to, when you get this kit, go ahead and cut a liner for each one of the cards. You have enough to do as large as 4 by 5 1/4, and then you'll have several sheets left over to do your stamping. So just a tip there if you're getting the packet. Now on this white cardstock, we're going to stamp and color a bee for each card. Now to keep these videos relatively brief, I did the coloring of this bee in video number 1. It's the same throughout all 6 of the bee designs. All right, so we've gone ahead and stamped those with Memento ink, colored them with Stampin' blends, and you can do the blends that are listed in the project sheet or check out video number 1 for a tutorial to color those. The next thing we need to do is stamp our little crowns. This time we're going to use the stamp, and the last one we used the die and the bedazzled specialty paper. So I like that we're going to use both styles. Now we got to switch. We had it for Mossy Meadow for our collage, so let's switch. And we're going to do one for each card, so you do all 4 at the same time. Little Blackberry Bliss crown. I just love that. I love that we can get that detailed crown image and cut it out, or we can use the die cut alone with the specialty paper. All right, let's go ahead and clear away the ink pad, and we're going to do some die cutting now. I love to die cut as much as I can in one pass on the machine. So if you know me, you know that. I'm going to cut out my crown kind of roughly so we can make lots of room on the platform of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because we also need to run some flowers and some leaves. So let's slide these guys aside for just a minute and get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, we've got our crown and it's all ready to cut out. This is the cutoff from the vellum. We trimmed that down and we embossed them in the last video. Now we want to use those cutoffs to do bee's wings. So we got that one going on. We need lots of little pink flowers for this design. So we're going to grab our Blushing Bride. There's a nice chunk of it in the packet for you, and you're going to cut one of the larger flowers and 4 of the smaller flowers. We need a little bit of that bedazzling glitter paper so we can make a little heart. It covers the glue dot where we attach the vellum wings, so it's really important little bit. And we've got some Old Olive here. Let's go ahead and trim from the block. We need some leaves, 2 for each card. My last little bit that'll go on here for this round is the honeycomb. We're gonna do that one on the bedazzling paper too. I love this little piece. It adds so much fun and texture to our Stamp-A-Stack cards. We're going to do one of each, or one of these little honeycombs for each card. And the fun part is you could save the little cutouts that come out of the honeycomb, and they make fantastic embellishments without any bulk at all. It's really, really phenomenal. All right, we're going to run a couple of passes because we need lots of leaves and lots of flowers. So let me continue to die cut here. Let's take our wings. Aren't those beautiful? I just love this. Every time I do it, it thrills me. And then when you stack it up on that beautifully colored bumblebee, it's fantastic. And our little heart. Here's our honeycomb. So if you can pick this up and then save the little pieces that come out of here, they work just like you would a rhinestone or a pearl. They're really a wonderful little embellishment. So hang on to those. I've been taking a canister from an embellishment that I've used up. So these little Stampin' Up embellishment canisters, and just putting them right in there. So then they're ready when I need them. And I can catch them all and save them all, because they really do make a fabulous embellishment. We're going to use them like an embellishment on the last design. So just shake those out and save them. And then this piece we'll have for our card. All right, and then the Queen Bee die set. I really want to show this off. It's such an affordable price right now, and it's a really wonderful die set that you can use with other nature type sets that you have. Look at how this flower cuts and embosses the impression. Little speckles in the center of the flower and little lines on the petals. And the vine does the same thing. There's a little vein down each one of those leaves. It's such a cool die set. All right, let's slide this aside and let's get our bits. All right, let's assemble our bee first. That way we don't lose that little glimmer heart. So we're going to take the wings that we cut, pop a mini glue dot right in the center, and pop that onto the bee. We're using that little heart that's stamped on there as placement. And then for the little heart, I like to take my Take Your Pick tool and fold the glue dot because it is a little tiny heart. And then we can drop the heart right on the glue dot. It's gonna fit better on that folded half glue dot than on a full one. And then we can pick that up with the Take Your Pick tool and place it right over the glue dot that holds the wings. Now there's no adhesive showing. Pop up the wings, and there's our bees. Aren't they sweet? Let's assemble our flowers. I've got 4 of this small flower and 1 of the large flower. We're going to kind of spatter them across. I like to use my Stampin' Pierce mat for these flowers, and we can really give them a great shape. Let's lay the flowers on the Stampin' Pierce mat, all 5 of them. I'm going to use the putty end of the Take Your Pick tool with the cap on and shape each of these flowers by pressing in the center. It gives it kind of a cup shape. And then we're going to take a mini glue dot, pick up the mini glue dot on the small flower, layer it so that the petals alternate. The large flower you can press again and then pull the inside petals up just a little bit more. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're going to get the champagne rhinestones, and we're going to add a little one in the center of each of the small flowers. And then your choice in the center of the larger flower, you can do a medium one, a large one, or keep going with the small rhinestones. Just mix it up. Now we'll put each of these on a glue dot, and they will be peel and stick, which makes scattering flowers over all these cards so much faster. So shape all your flowers, embellish all your flowers, and get them all ready to use. Let's get some dimensionals on our tags, and we can adhere our bee. Got some multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere my bee. You can use your fast views here too. We're just going to do it down flat and leave enough room for that little crown. Go ahead and get that guy. Glue that on. And again, let's add our bee and the crown. I just love this card. This one might be my favorite. I don't know. All right, then we've got these gorgeous honeycomb pieces. And what I want to do with that one is put it so that it peeks out from behind the tag. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to the back and prepare the dimensional for the tag so it's ready to go. We're going to kind of add these two things together. The honeycomb's going to touch the bee. The tag is going to tuck in front. We want to pay attention to where the twine ends up. And there is our tag and honeycomb. You can, if you don't like liquid glue on these tiny little pieces, You can absolutely use a multi-purpose adhesive sheet for this. Just put a little adhesive sheet on the back before you die cut. I don't mind gluing, and I usually forget to use them, but I know that not everybody loves the liquid glue. But if you just squeeze the bottle very lightly and go easy on the application, you should be all right with a little touch of liquid glue, and less is more. All right, now our leaves. Just dab a couple of spots on the back of the leaves. One up and one down. We've got 2 for each card, cut from the Old Olive cardstock. And we're working in the batch, so we're gluing all of our leaves. We've already assembled all of our flowers, and they're pick and stick. That's our next step. We'll grab our flowers here. And with the flower, we're going to kind of direct the bow, or the twine, I should say, and sandwich it in between the glue dot and the flower. And then we'll sprinkle. These guys are going to go up 2 and then down 1. And what you're going to do here is, once they're adhered, just lift the petals a little bit. Let them have that texture. That's the whole point of this, to have that kind of romantic texture. And our next copy, do the same. All right, look at all the texture and sparkle. Isn't it fantastic? So now, not just the twine, but we're also going to tie a sheer bow. This is the basic white seam binding, and you've got half of a spool in your packet. You'll have plenty for your bows and even left over. What I like to do is tie it right from the card. So it's going to be wrapped on a card for you, unless you get the stamp camp. If you get the stamp camp packet also in the pre-order, then you'll get a full spool of ribbon. But either way, tie off the card or tie off the spool, and then cut away from the card or the spool, and you'll get the most out of your ribbon. Make your little bows, and then for the Stamp-A-Stack, you make your bows ahead of time and stick them to mini glue dots, and you'll tie all the bows at the same time, which is time saving and makes the whole craft just a little bit more enjoyable. So let's go ahead and add our bows, little mini glue dot, and there it is. There is design number 2 in our Queen Bee Stamp-A-Stack. Now we've made 4 gorgeous, beloved cards. That's today. Go back and check out video number 1, where we made the fresh Freesia landscape version, and come back tomorrow and I'll see you in video number 3, where we'll make the birthday cards. Thanks for being a part of the Kitchen Table Stamper Queen Bee Stamp-A-Stack. If you've got any questions, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com, and to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net and click shop. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.